Say hi to Isaac. Hey, it's Fred in Alaska. We're getting ready to head over yonder. Bear with us, we got some traveling to do. We'll catch you here soon. So we came across this eagle's nest here. Zoom in a little bit. It's an old one. They usually reuse them for a good minute, and eagles, I don't know if you're aware, they mate for life, but there's an old eagle's nest right there. And as you can see, we're not lacking on beautiful views. You know, we got Pioneer Peak right in front of us. That's Pioneer Peak, and the glacier's back over this way, and again we're heading back over this way, but with how Jim Creek runs, we're kind of snaking through, so we're making our way. And if you could look at the view behind us, I mean, there's just no lack of beautiful scenery anywhere. Alaska, you know, gotta love it. We had to abandon our trip due to weather and come back, but we're getting some fishing in at midnight. As you can see, the sky is rather beautiful. Got the mountains in the backdrop and salmon in the river. So we'll be getting back to you. Hey, greetings, this is Fred in Alaska. The opening shot that I'm going to show was from the beginning of our journey that was cut short due to really high winds. We were on an expedition to go back towards the Knik Glacier because there's areas of encounters back there, and we just wanted to go and check out the area, do some investigating. It'd be the legit first time I ever went looking. Every other expedition is just to a encounter location to give you guys the visual of what was happening during that encounter and the terrain and what have you. So our initial goal was to come in here and make our way back towards Friday Creek here. This is Meadow Creek, and this back valley here, this is the Knik Glacier. Well, this valley is an area of an encounter, and various other places along in here. What was lame about the trip was the high wind. It was too treacherous for this canoe, and we weren't gonna. It was just a dead issue. As soon as that high wind kicked up, you gotta go with your instincts. Weather runs everything. In Alaska, it's all about the weather. So we had to backtrack to Jim Creek, and we got some salmon fishing in, you know, at midnight. That was kind of cool. I'll put that footage in. You guys will see that before you hear me. So anyway, there was a couple hunters about 10 years ago that were going back to that farthest valley I showed next to the Knik Glacier. They had a four-wheeler back in there. It was, I mean, it's tough going. You can get there easier on the mud flats on a four-wheeler or what have you than what we were attempting to do by canoe through the marshlands over that way. So they get back in there and they cross Meadow Creek. And once they get across Meadow Creek, they make it back towards the glacier a little further. And they had to hike next to the... Let me show you here. They had to hike next to the glacier. They made it to about here, and then had to hike next to the glacier to make it back to this valley, where they were looking for moose. So they make that journey. They get all set up, and you know, it's some riding. It takes some time to get back in there. But when they got all set up, they noticed up on the rock slide a figure, and they saw the full upper half of the hairy man up on the ridge, and they were watching it, looking at each other like, what the, are we seeing this kind of thing? And it kept swaying back and forth. It would drop below the rocks, kind of low on the horizon, looking back and forth at them. And this went on for a few minutes until overwhelming sense of we gotta get the hell out of here. And that took over, and they literally scooped up everything, folded corner to corner with the tent, everything inside it, and got out of Dodge. Which is a very large portion of the encounters happen that way. The people that have them, it is immediately known within them they gotta go. They don't want to be no part of it, and they get the hell out of Dodge. There's several other encounters throughout this whole area, like Eklutna Lake. As the crow flies, here's Eklutna Lake where I filmed before, was back over in this area. And literally it's one mountain range over into these valleys here. And then you got, Glen Allen is up this way, and Palmer's back over here, and Wasilla and what have you. So that whole area is just one encounter after another, but they're years apart, and each one is a little different. Some with screaming, some with the whole show, screaming, throwing stuff, visuals, that kind of thing. But in these areas, outside of a few visual sightings like the two hunters that were moose hunting, there is a whole lot. I've gotten several emails about just little blip encounters, just strange noises, trees breaking, and grunts and noises that aren't of any known critter in the area. So, I mean, we were hoping to get back in there and check out some of these areas, because there's multiple valleys that were worth checking out just due to the abundance of encounters over the years. Historically, it ranges big time, but this area, here's Palmer here, and here's Eklutna Lake. You got sightings all along this road that comes into Eklutna Lake. You got sightings all along the Knik River. Here's the Matanuska River. And, some of the things that stand out is, the encounters that so many people speak of are happening in these, right where the mountain meets the lower land. And with these hunters being back up in here, they were looking at this thing, staring at them over a rock slide, so the terrains vary quite a bit, but the common denominator is their feeling once they see the hairy man. It all bets are off, and the overwhelming consensus is the internal drive to flee, the fight or flight, takes over. Even if there's moments of bravery where someone's checking it out, even with the firearm, within moments they get that gut feeling, that primal kicks in, and they just know with everything inside them they gotta go. We had to abort the mission. It was weather sucked. It was a little breezy when we started, and then once we got back in there and cleared out of the sheltered area of the cottonwoods and alders by Jim Creek there and out into the open marsh, it was just kicking up. I'll throw in some footage of the little waves and some of the whitecaps, but that was just the beginning of it. They got bigger as we went on, so we had to turn around and head back. But hopefully next time we're gonna try by ATV to get back from Jim Lake and get back up over into here, and then hike around, check out some of these smaller draws, and see what's going on over that way. The Nuyahkuk trip at this point that I was trying to plan for September, that's going to be a no-go. Just funding alone kills that, which is a shame, but hey, there another day. Maybe in the spring, who knows. Dave the tech guy was working on getting other stuff up on the website. I have not heard back from him yet, but Dave has been constantly updating the website. It looks great, by the way, Dave. And yeah, just got to be careful in Alaska. We'll catch you guys on the next one.